Hi guys, this is Christy Fulk with Create with Christy. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in the US. Well, today I'm here to share with you a card that I made for my husband. We had our 33rd anniversary last Saturday, and this is the card I made for him. And this features the He's All That bundle. It's in the new annual catalog. Yes, we have a great masculine bundle set. I'm so excited, and I think you're going to like it a lot. Now, this is a quick and easy card to make. It also uses up paper scraps, and of course, we always need those ideas for those masculine cards, don't we? So if you'd like to stamp along with me, just look down in that blog post link below. It's in the video description. Click on it. And when you get to the blog post, you'll find the dimensions and the supply list to get everything together. And then you come back and make the card with me. And if there's anything you find on the supply list that you don't have, you can purchase by clicking on that product in the supply list. Or you can also click on the online store link below in the video description. Okay, let's get started. Okay, first off, I want to show you the bundle. This is that He's All That bundle I told you about. This in the new annual catalog. And I love all the images in this stamp set. And the stamps you're going to need if you're going to make it along with me. You need the Everyday With You as Another Adventure, and the Together for the Long Haul, and this Love This Guy. And then with the dies, you're going to need this one, this double banner die, I guess you can call it. You need the little arrow. And you need the scallop circle die. I'm also using some embossing folders. These are called the, let's see, I can't remember the name here. They're this Stripes and Splatters 3D embossing folders. You can find these in the January to June mini catalog. I do believe they're in the annual catalog too. If they're not, I'll put a notice there at the bottom of the screen, but I'm sure I saw these in the annual catalog too. Still trying to learn that annual catalog. Now, I will not be using the splatters one this time. I'm going to be using the stripes. Okay, now let's get some stamping done. You need a piece of basic white. This is 3¼ inches by 2¼ inches. And then I'm going to need the Together for the Long Haul stamp with the Early Espresso ink pad. And I'll stamp this to one side. Get it inked up really good. Hold it down for a few seconds. There we go. And then I'm going to grab the Love This Guy and my soft succulent ink pad. Oops, get back here. And I'm going to put it right here along this side. There we go. Now that is all the stamping on this piece. Then I want you to grab a square piece of Cajun Craze. It's 2¼ by 2¼ inches. And we're going to use the this one here, the Everyday With You is Another Adventure. Get your Early Espresso ink pad again. Shouldn't have closed that. I forgot I needed it right away. And just stamp that near the center. It doesn't have to be perfect because you're going to be die cutting this out. And now we're going to do some coloring. I'm going to bring this one back in here. I'm going to take this away because I think it's a little easier to color without the Stampin' Pearson mat underneath it. And I'm going to grab my dark Cajun Craze, and I'm going to color in this little border here with this, okay? I just thought it needed to be colored in and look a little better. And this will be die cut out with that scallop circle die. Just use a very light touch. But you can use the blunt side too. There's another tip that's a little smaller. If you use a really light touch with the brush tip, it is very thin. And it also, even when you aren't wanting to make it thin, I would still use a light touch. That way you don't fray your tip. So now we've got that all colored in. I wanted to make my little van here green, so we're going to use the soft succulent color. All the colors I'm picking out are from the He's the Man Designer Series paper I'll be using. Now I'm going to take the light one. This time I'm not blending. I'm actually wanting there to be different shades. So here at the bottom of my van, I'm going to do the soft succulent and do the little bump above it. I can't remember what that's called. It's not a hubcap, but I can't remember. Just do that whole bottom section, and I'm going to do this whole front section with a light soft succulent. So get those all colored in. And I'm going to do the top part here. So we've got a little window here, so I'm going to go around it. There's a little bitty thing around here to finish that door. Okay. And then I'm going to do this. I had to look at my card real quick and make sure I was remembering how I did this. If it's a little different, it's no big deal too. Now, one good thing, this little stripe right here is what I'm making dark. It's okay if I go over that a little bit because I'm going to be using the dark to go over it. And that's, you're not going to see the light anymore. So now I'm going to grab my dark soft succulent and we're going to color this section here. Just gives a little accent to our retro van or camper. There we go. I'm going to grab my light Cajun Craze and color in this on top here. Kind of looks like a surfboard, doesn't it? Put this on top. I think that's all I did Cajun Craze for. Yes, it is. Let me get that color, go over it one more time. Okay, so we've got that colored in. Now I'm going to grab my dark basic black, very lightly go around and get the wheels done. Trying not to do my hubcaps. If I were to get a little black on the hubcaps, I could take my color lifter and take some of that off. Hopefully I won't have to do that because I forgot to bring that over. There we go. That looks pretty good. Now I'm going to grab my dark Daffodil Delight. The yellow that's in this paper is Cajun Craze, and we don't have that Stampin' Blend, but the dark, Daffodil Delight is real close. So that is all the coloring we need to do. So let's go ahead and get our die cutting machine out. Okay, now I could have used my mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, but I forgot I haven't ordered the magnetic plate for that one yet. I'm definitely getting that. I wanted to test the big one out first. I love it. And I will show you that here in just a minute. So to use this platform, you're going to use the base platform here for die cutting. Here is the wonderful magnetic plate, and it is really thick. Now on the directions, it actually says to put a standard cutting plate and then magnetic plate on there. That makes it too thick, unless I looked at it wrong. So what I'm doing, because this is so thick, we don't need both of these. So I'm going to keep this away, and we're just going to put the magnetic plate on top of the base platform. And the neat thing about this, if you got the last one that we had, the magnet worked. This is a full magnet too. It covers the whole thing. There aren't little bitty magnets in it. It warped because it didn't have any support to it. This has a nice metal platform here at the bottom, so it is not going to warp on us. As you can tell, I've used it quite a bit, and it's not warping at all, and it's still working perfectly. And it's kind of heavy, too, so it's definitely substantial. I really, really like it. So I'm going to grab this here. Let's go ahead and, well, we can't die cut this yet. That's right. We're using the same die for both of those. So we'll go ahead and put this down, just kind of wrap it around, get it centered. That looks pretty good. And then I'm going to grab... Oops, let's turn this over. Get the die down, facing down. Get that in there so I don't see any white except for the letters. Then you do want to put a standard cutting plate on top. And we're going to put this through. And I love it that I don't have to use the tape anymore because it used to take so long getting all that tape off of the pieces. So there we go. We've got this. And now we're going to grab this one. And I also want you to grab a piece of crushed curry. It is a 1 3/4 by 1.5 inch piece. We are going to use that double banner die. And then we'll also put the scallop circle back on top of this one. Get it centered. Okay. Put this on top. Run it through. And that'll be all the die cutting we're going to do, but we are going to do some embossing too. So let's go ahead and get this out. I love how that turned out. And then we've got our 2 little banners. Now the banners are what we're going to be embossing. So hold on to those. Let's get all these dies out of the way. We do not need this anymore. Okay, the stripe folder we're using is a 3D folder. So let me show you the sandwich for that. I'm going to put these in. I wanted the stripes to be like this. So actually I can do it like this. No, I do want this like this. I had to look at my cardigan. So I'm going to make it because I want them to go long ways. It's actually a little easier if I lay this down here. There we go. Much easier. Get them looking straight. Then I can put them down. There we go. When they're little, it's hard to hold on to. That top one looks a little cockeyed still, doesn't it? It keeps wanting to pop between the stripes on me. There, that looks good. It doesn't have to be perfect, so I'm not going to fret over it. Now, with this being a 3D folder, we need the specialty plate. And the specialty plate does come with the embossing machine. Go ahead and run this through. The only plate that does not come with the embossing machine is that magnetic plate. That one is separate. That is in the annual catalog, and you can get it now. So there we go. So we've got our nice little stripes. I just thought they needed to have a little texture. So we are all done with the die cutting machine, and let's finish our card. Okay, now I want you to get the card base out. This is a piece of soft succulent. It's 8.5 by 5.5. And we're going to line those corners up on each side end. Once those are lined up, get that. There we go. The one on the right didn't want to cooperate. Take my bone folder, get a nice crease. I want you to get a piece of early espresso. This is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. This works best with the pieces of the designer series paper we're using. Now, this is all from the He's the Man DSP. This one is 1 3/4 by 3. And this one's the same size, 1 3/4 by 3. Those are going to go on the top. Then we've got this one here. This one is a 2.5 by 1 3/4. And then this one is a 1 inch by 1 3/4. Now you can use whichever pattern you want. These are just the ones I picked out. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to kind of lay them down because I want to have the border of early espresso around them to be about the same. So I think I'll bring them out a little bit more. If they're not perfect, it's okay. But there we go. That looks pretty good. So I'm going to take this one first. Actually, we're going to start from the bottom. I think that's going to work better. Let me get that lined up again. We'll grab this one. Oops, get my lid off would help, wouldn't it? I love all the images on this. I hate to cover that one up, but I will definitely use that on another card. Okay, and then we'll just put this one right here. And the nice thing about seal, I can lift this up if I don't get it right where I want it the first 10 minutes, which is really nice. Let's go ahead and put this one down. I'll get some adhesive on both sides. Probably just one here in the middle. Get that lined up. That looks pretty good. Oops, let's move that out just a little bit. I got a little too close to the brown. It's a little hard to see that brown, but it still really looks good once the card comes together. There we go. That's a little better. Get that up a little bit. So now you got to see firsthand how I was able to lift that up without tearing my paper with a seal. Love that. Okay, now we'll bring this. That has moved up, but I'm not going to worry about it because I will get it in the right spot when I lay this down. So, actually, I think I'm going to get that out of the way because it's kind of in my way. Looking at all my borders, trying to get them close to the same. Definitely lining these up. Okay, and then this last one just goes in that empty spot. I love making a pattern with designer series paper. And this way, too, I'm showcasing a lot of different designs in that paper. There are so many really good. It's a really good masculine set. Lift that up again. You know what? I think I'm going to turn this over so I can see the end here a little better. It was a little too far away from me. There, that looks really good. Okay, so we've got this one ready to go. So let's go ahead and put this on the card base. So put some here. I always make sure I put adhesive in my corners so they don't pop up on me. And then this is just going to go right in the center. Okay. The reason I did that weird 3 7/8 by 5 1/8, it made the paper fit right, and it gave me a little more of a border with a soft succulent. I kind of like that look. So now let's grab the little banners, and they're going to be going like this. And then we want to grab this together for the long haul. Now I'm going to turn this over. The neat thing about coloring that in, we can see right where that middle part is, where the van's at. So I'm just going to take some adhesive, go all the way across. Okay. Then I can turn this over. I'm going to bring my silicone mat in here if I get a hold of it. Oops, I've still got some glue from the last video. The neat thing with this, see all this dried glue on here? See how easy that comes off? I just have to rub it off and then I can throw it away. I just love this silicone mat. It is so handy. I get some of this out so I don't get it on my project. That looks better. And I'm going to lay this down. I want to have the stripes embossed. Over here it's debossed when they're kind of caving in. I want the embossed side. And let's kind of get it like this. Here, I'm going to stand up here so I can see what I'm doing. I'm kind of at an angle. There we go. And then I'll grab the other banner, which I covered up. And we'll kind of put this, because you just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be perfect. Now, one thing, it is going to overlap a little bit. And that's fine. That's the way it's supposed to be. These are just a little too long, but I didn't want to bother cutting them. It's okay if they overlap in the back, because nobody's going to see it. So there we go. We have that ready. And I'm going to put this on my card. I'm going to use just regular seal. And they didn't match up perfectly there, but I don't care. Nobody's going to see it. I'm going to put this, I'm going to kind of cover up this little middle section here in between those designer series paper pieces. And that looks pretty good. I'm not putting it right. I might put it up a little bit higher. There we go. That looks good to me. Make sure it looks straight, and it does. There we go. Now I want to grab the Love This Guy. And there are also die cuts in the designer series paper. And I grabbed the one that says My Man. And I'm going to put some dimensionals on these. I'm going to use black dimensionals. And you get both sizes with this. So I'm going to use the regular ones for that. This one's kind of narrow. Ooh, I got a piece of glue. Let me get that out of the way. So I'm going to grab the mini ones. They're in the same pack. I'm going to put one on one end, and I want to make sure that the flat side is what's on the top and the bottom, or a flat side. That way those little points on the dimensionals don't show on the other side. And this is kind of short, so I'm not going to worry about putting one there in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and get my Take Your Pick tool. I'm going to take the paper backing off. And I'm going to put this on at an angle. So I'm going to do it kind of like this, cover up. I don't want to cover up that van though, but I'm okay going over the circle. Just kind of angle it a little bit like that. We will take the paper backing. I want to make sure I'm still on the screen here. Off of this one. And then I'm going to put it right along here. I want it pointing to My Man, saying that I love this guy. Okay, so now the front's almost done, but I thought, oh, it needed a little something more. So I'm using, this is also part of the He's the Man suite. So the suite includes the bundle, the designer series paper, and these Rustic Metallic Adhesive-Backed Dots. 2 different sizes. I'm going to use 2 of each size. I'm going to take the putty side of my Take Your Pick tool. I'm going to pick up a big one and put it up here. And let's put a small one. Oh, let's say about right here. And I'm going to pair. Usually I use a odd number. I'm using an even number, but they're going to be grouped. These 2 are going to be together. So it's still going to be like having 3. And put a little one right here. So there we go. So we've got the front all done. Let's hurry up and get our inside decorated. I want you to grab a piece of basic white. This is 4 by 5 1/4. We're going to grab our little adventure circle and another piece of designer series paper. I went with the brown that we used on the front. This one is a 4 by 3/4 inch piece. Put some adhesive on here. Get them on the ends. And probably just one here in the middle. Now, I want to make sure it's up high enough that this isn't hanging over. So I'm going to kind of lay this down. Doesn't matter if it's straight, just as long as the circle's in there. And that looks pretty good. So I'll take this away. Lay that down across. Make sure it's straight. Because I'm kind of looking at this section here. I can actually do it better this way because I can tell this is cockeyed. So I'm going to lift this up. Kind of move it a little bit. There we go. That looks better. And then this, I'm not going to use dimensional since this is the inside of our card. We want it to still be able to close. So I'll just use my seal. We'll put this right here. Now I want to make sure it's straight since I'm attaching it. Okay. Now we'll turn it over. Get our adhesive on the back. Put it on the inside of the card. And we are going to be done with this card. It went together so quick. But my husband loved it. He thought it was really neat. And I'll put this right here. And that is the card. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's card, and if you'd like to stamp with me again, just click that subscribe button below, and when the bell icon pops up, click on it and then select all. That way YouTube will notify you every time I upload a video. And if you live in the United States and do not have a demonstrator of your own, I would love to be yours. And here are the 2 catalogs that are available right now. Here's the new annual catalog that just started, and here's the January to June mini catalog that'll be ending here at the end of June. So we still have about a month and a half left of this catalog, a little over a month and a half. And if, like I said, if you live in the United States and do not have a demonstrator, I would love to send out your first set of copies for free. Just click on that contact me link below in the video description and give me your mailing address, and I'll get it mailed out to you right away. So let's look at the card one more time. I hope you enjoyed today's card, and please support my channel by giving me a thumbs up or commenting below. I really, really do appreciate it. See you guys in the next video. Have a great day. Bye.